Quality, service, atmosphere. You're next in the chair. Feel at home in the Barbershop. Gbush offers a fresh cut on sports. The Barbershop isn't just grooming for guys. It's culture, it's lifestyle, it's sports. And it's now the Barbershop is giving the sports scene a sheer shave and shine. Join the makeover now. Follow Garrett Bush at Gbush91 on Twitter.
Let's skip to pleasantries. Let's skip to pleasantries. Come on in. Come on in. Welcome into the Barbershop. Come on, have a seat. Let me flip that sign over. I guess I can do a couple cuts, man. It's your boy G. Bush. If you don't know, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Go ahead, hit the likes. Stop playing around. If you're not following me, please go ahead and do so. Clap it up for the New England Patriots for being consummate professionals and doing it once again. Tom Brady, I don't know how you do it. Mohamed Sanu comes in, runs routes like he's been there all year. You get another guy, Julian Edelman, keeps being open over the middle. It's raining, doesn't matter. Dorsett comes in, he's still open. You guys manufactured a running game somehow. James White is still open on screenplays. And once again, the New England Patriots just keep finding a way to win games. Skip the intro, but let's go and bring it in. Cleveland Browns versus the New England Patriots from Gillette Stadium. Let's go ahead and get the recap. And I need to stop going and do these recaps in the fourth quarter. It's the fourth quarter. I'm not even worried about the fourth quarter. Right now, Patriots are full control in this game. Full control of this game. Browns have nothing to offer on the offensive end of this game. They got about 10 points. Patriots are 24-10 right now, and they're in full control of this game. Full control of this game. So what I've done is I've come in, and I'm here to offer you some educational information here. You know, a lot of my blogs and a lot of my pregame and postgame information is meant to give you guys entertainment purposes. I've been here to give you entertainment. I give you clips, and I do all these type of things to entertain you guys. And I do that to keep you guys entertained, coming back to give you a laugh if you're the Browns fans. I give you laughs so you don't have to cry. Y'all been crying for about 30 years. And I give you breakdowns and those different things. But I'm going to give you something different. Just to show you that there's another side of this coin. One of the things that I think is happening here with the Cleveland Browns is we have to analyze whether or not Freddie Kitchens is the right person for this job. Watching this game, I'm gonna be dead serious here for a little bit. Bear with me, give me the latitude to be serious here for a second. We need to analyze whether the Cleveland Browns, and we'll get to the Patriots a little later on in this segment, but we need to analyze whether Freddie Kitchens is the right man for this job. Because one of the things that you saw evident was the difference between working the sidelines, working your team, and being a professional with Bill Belichick. And I know that's understatement because he's going to be he's a right now Hall of Famer. Skip the pleasantries, put him in the Hall of Fame now. Give him his gold jackets. Let him smell the roses while he's still here. Let him and Tom Brady. I'm willing to sign the release. Where's the permission slip? I'm like a dad just trying to sign the permission slip when I don't feel like dealing with my kids. Hey, where's the permission slip? Yeah, I'm signing Timmy's permission slip. Yeah, give it to him. Give it to me. Let him be in the Hall of Fame right now. But Bill Belichick, you telling me, is on a 3-day work schedule. Coming off Monday Night Football where they embarrassed the Jets. He comes off of that performance where he embarrassed the Jets. He puts his team in shorts and helmets the whole week. No hitting. He's without his deep threat in Josh Gordon. He brings Mohamed Sanu, indoctrinates him to the offense. He's lost some of his offensive linemen. It's raining. And he comes out there in a mismatch, get-along gang of guys. And he comes out there and runs a clean game. He gets turnovers in the first half, has a scoop and score to the house. Didn't put the ball on the turf, no interceptions, none of that. The Cleveland Browns come out there. You got 2 weeks of prep time, off of bye week, completely healthy. You come out and you got 3 turnovers in a row. After succession after succession after succession. Not to mention, you come out and you got penalty after penalty after penalty. Oh, got nice screen pass. Holding, offsides, illegal hands to the face. Anything you can think of, you consistently got it. And you got your coach over there on the sideline like this. Don't even know what's going on. The look of confusion. You don't even know what's going on. So I'm looking around and I'm like, this is a psychology thing going on. And I thought about something. I had to dust off my Encyclopedia Britannicas. And it reminded me of a case that I looked at Ohio University. They talked about this. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And if you don't know about the Dunning-Kruger effect, half of the Dunning-Kruger effect is always knowing when somebody else can explain it better than you, because you're not perfect all the time. This is the Dunning-Kruger effect.
When MacArthur Wheeler learned that lemon juice was used as invisible ink, he rubbed it on his face and confidently proceeded to rob 2 banks. When the police found him, he was shocked. His disbelief was equal to theirs. He had even taken a picture to check he was invisible. The case inspired experiments by Professors David Dunning and Justin Kruger. They found that the least proficient students dramatically overestimated their own ability. The skills they lacked were the same skills required to recognize their incompetence. Dunning found that the incompetent are often blessed with an inappropriate confidence buoyed by something that feels to them like knowledge.
The Dunning-Kruger effect talks about people who overestimate their value, overestimate their knowledge.
Late-night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel's Lie Witness News segments further exemplify this. The segment consists of a crew asking random pedestrians questions that have false premises placed in. For example, asking people their opinion on a band that doesn't exist. The lengths to which some people go describing how much they love that band that doesn't really exist is breathtaking. That's just one example of the Dunning-Kruger effect set in motion.
Overestimate what they bring to the table. And it happens all the time.
The connections made in our mind sometimes even manage to fool ourselves into not recognizing our own ignorance. This meaningless information can often consist of misconceptions that we've gained over time. These misconceptions never really leave us, even if we know they're wrong. In fact, we can often bend or outright forget new information to make it fit with previous information.
In the case of Freddie Kitchens, he comes in training camp. He comes in and when he talks to the media, he talks to the media like he's the second coming of Vince Lombardi. He talks to the media like we don't know nothing. Like we ain't been asking no questions for the longest. He comes in with this approach where nobody's gonna practice. It's the first time that we've ever conducted a training camp, and Freddie Kitchens is the first person to ever implement a strategy in training camps.
It makes sense if you think about it. No one wants to appear clueless about something they claim to enjoy in front of a camera. And the confidence we pull out to make us seem knowledgeable on something we know very little about can be very convincing, even to ourselves. It's easy for our brains to say, I understand this, based on the clutter of meaningless information stored in our head.
See, people who don't know very much sometimes can overestimate what they know. And then the term, you ever heard of, some people know just enough to be dangerous? Freddie Kitchens was an offensive coordinator for 8 games. And he was an offensive coordinator for 8 games using whose playbook? It wasn't his playbook. That wasn't his playbook. A caller called me last week on my show. He said, Gbush, man, I got to tell you something. I went in and got the phone. I said, listen, I was on the show. Went in, I answered the phone. He said, Gbush, I got to talk to you. I said, what's going on, big homie? He said, Gbush, let me ask you a question. He said, don't you think it's kind of crazy that the offense looked great at the end of last week? I said, nah, he was doing his thing. Freddie Kitchens was playing free and easy. He was just comfortable last year. Maybe it was a situation he'll get back to. He said, no, Gbush, think about it this way. Last year, OTAs, two-a-days, training camp, who was there? I said, Hugh Jackson, Todd Haley, offensive coordinator, head coach. He said, yeah, that's right. Let me ask you a question. Whose plays was they running training camp all that time? Who was running, whose place was them? I said, there was Todd Haley's place. He said, okay, exactly, big homie. No disrespect, but when you get taken over and when they tap you on the shoulder and you go from the running backs coach to the head coach, he's a great character. He's a great individual, Mr. Kitchens. But tell me, he's a miracle worker if he can come up with new plays in 3 days on Monday when he gets the job and says, you were the running back coach, but now you're the offensive coordinator. You think he's drawing up the plays in the sand? You think you're coming up with new terminology? You think you're coming up with new route combinations? You think you're coming up with new schemes and all in 3 days? No. He's running Todd Haley's playbook. I say, you know what? You might be right, homie. Man, you're right. In truthfulness, them 8 games last year, Freddie Kitchens was calling Todd Haley's plays. Simplifying Todd Haley's plays. Maybe augmenting Todd Haley's plays. But don't get it twisted. They were still Todd Haley's plays. The plays that you see running this year, those are Freddie Kitchens' plays. So if you have a problem with where the offense looks from this year to last year, if you're going to give anybody credit, if you want to give a check mark in the box of creativity, if you want to give a check mark, oh, I like the playbook a little better. Last year, those drawn plays were Todd Haley's playbooks. That's not debatable. But diving back into the Dunning-Kruger effect, this effect takes hold on large parts of society.
Cognitive biases are essentially a subjective social reality. The Dunning-Kruger effect is, in a nutshell, a way for everyone to feel good and above average internally, because most of us are actually completely average.
It happens all the time. We run across these people in regular day parts of society. You see it. How many of us have been sitting around and deal with coworkers, man? How many of us had to laugh off jokes that ain't even funny? We got a buddy. We all got buddies that tell these little jokes. He said, hey man, let me tell you this story about this joke I was telling my guy the other day. Third-hand jokes that you got to be like, and you sitting there the whole time thinking like, man, I cannot wait till you stop telling this third-rate joke. This joke is not funny.
In the humor study, the psychologists asked 2 groups to rank jokes on a scale of 1 to 11, 1 being not at all funny and 11 being very funny. Group A was a set of average Cornell undergraduates, and Group B was a small set of professional comedians. The idea was to see if average people would believe that they were above average at picking out what was funny, or as good as professionals. After Group A had ranked the jokes, the researchers asked them to compare their ability to pick what was funny against the professional comedians, to rate themselves. And unsurprisingly, on average, everyone overrated their skills. Remember, 50 is average, and the whole group together said that they did 66, which I would rank as an 8 out of 11 on our joke scale. But this is where the surprise comes in. Those who did the worst placed themselves in the 58th percentile on average. They believed that they were better than 57 other people out of 100. Their real score? The 12th percentile. They were worse than 88 other people. These were the victims of this newly discovered cognitive bias, the idea that people with a little bit of knowledge or skill in an area believe that they are better than they are.
This is horrible. Well, just goes to show you, they done studies on how funny people are actually not. As you can see, people have a cognitive bias to overinflate their characteristics, to overinflate how smart they are, to overestimate how great they are. But then on the opposite end of the spectrum, On the opposite end of the spectrum, you have Freddie Kitchens, who I believe overestimated how good he is. He overestimates how good his playbook is. He overestimates what he knows. He overestimates how good he can manage the clock. He overestimates how good of a leader he is. Because at the end of the day, what I'm seeing out there against the New England Patriots, it showed me the tale of two cities, the tale of two coaches, and the tale is night and day.
Dunning-Kruger can help explain why people feel that they're experts even though they know very little about something. A problem sometimes described by this graph. The vertical axis is confidence, and the horizontal is experience. Imagine someone spent an hour reading the Wikipedia page about global warming, then took to Twitter to try and school some climate scientists who have literally spent their lives studying it. You don't have to imagine this, because you know it. It happens all the time.
Jamie Collins, the way Jamie Collins is playing now and the way Jamie Collins played when he was Cleveland, two different stories. The McCourties, the way they played in Cleveland and the way they played in New England, two different stories. I'm telling you, Freddie Kitchens, and I was a big supporter of Freddie, huge supporter of Freddie. But from where this team is playing in the penalties, the way this team is playing and the way the penalties is going, his team he's not a leader of men.
Dunning and Kruger went on to show that this bias exists multiple times with different experiments, like when assessing effective leadership.
Jump off sides, have penalties, and don't worry about the consequences of what happens when you do that. There's no consequences happening right now. People jump off sides and think it is cool. People jumping off sides and doing whatever, and they think it's cool. It's fine. I'll get that back. It's 2nd and 5. I'll get that back. Ain't nobody in the locker room holding nobody accountable. And let's be clear about this too. Baker Mayfield being a second-year player is not the responsibility of a second-year player to hold anybody accountable. He might as well be a rookie. He just now hit his 16 game threshold. He done played 1 year. And when you're Freddie Kitchens and you went from a running back coach and you skip some levels, you got to be able to look a man in the eye and be like, I'm holding everybody accountable. You jump off sides, I know something. You got to come see me if you jumping off sides. You got to come see me if you jumping off sides. I'm calling everybody out. Listen, it ain't about calling you out. I'll call you out in the media, and you gonna come see me after practice, and you gonna come see me in the office, and I'm finding you, and we might need to talk in the office. You got to be willing to be angry about why you holding this whole team up. You holding people ransom when you jump off sides like that. You holding the team ransom. People don't understand, bro. People is going out there putting their body on the line, bro. You don't understand. I done had 13 surgeries playing this game of football. People have long-term ramifications from this game. And we do it all over again. But you got to be disciplined to go out here. It ain't no game. You got to be willing to be disciplined. We'll do it for a cause, but we ain't going to do it just to go out here and just ha, 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 ha. We ain't ha, ha, ha about nothing. You got to be smart. And if you ain't going to be a leader to hold people accountable in front of other people, then what we doing it for? Then what we doing it for? And I'm starting to think Freddie ain't that guy. Sorry. If you're not willing to hold nobody accountable, Freddie, I'm sorry. I like you. I can have a beer with you, but I don't think you meant to lead. I'm sorry. Because it ain't about having no beer with nobody. It's about winning these football games. It's about winning these football games. On the other side of the field, consummate professional, Bill Belichick, Tom Brady. Tom Brady impresses me in so many small ways. I think Tony Romo did a great job of calling this game because Tony Romo, he pointed out so many small things for Brady. The throwaways, knowing what time of day it is. Knowing what time of day it is so big because for Tom Brady, he knew these dudes are self-checked. And self-check just meaning they jumping off sides. They turning the ball over. Tom Brady knew they lost this game in the first quarter. Tom was like, oh, we got a scoop and score with the defense. We got 3 straight turnovers. We jumped out to a 17-point lead. All Tom knew was, for me, I'm not giving up no sacks. I'm going to take care of the ball. If any defensive linemen get anywhere near me, I'm throwing the ball on the ground. Hey, on my screen game, if a defensive lineman read the screen, I'm throwing it on the ground. You're not going to get nothing free from Tom Terrific. Sorry. You're going to have to earn every play, Baker Mayfield. When you get the ball, you're going to get it on the 20, and you're going to have to go 80 yards. I'll clap it up for you. And you guess what? It works. Because the play when the Browns came out in halftime, they were moving the ball. They got the ball after half. And guess what? They moved up and down the field. Then guess what? The place drive stalled, and they got 3 points. But then Brady gets the ball back, and he says, I'm betting on the Browns being self-checked. I'm betting on the Browns being undisciplined. I'm betting on the Browns being the Browns. And what they do, illegal hands to the face, illegal contact, illegal hands downfield, first down, first down, first down. Fine, Edelman, touchdown. Now all that work you had, all that little work you had to get 3, they come back and get 7. Now they up 4. They get, hey, we'll take a net positive 4. 24-10, game over. It's raining. It's in Gillette. You ain't coming back from that. And that's what we dealing with. Tom Brady, it's all up here. All up here. He's controlling the game with his mind. He's controlling the game with his clock management, turnovers. He's not going to give you nothing. Ball placement, getting guys open, moving. Man, it's one of them games that look real bad. The score may not tell you what it is, but the game looked real bad. Because it was never in doubt. It was never in doubt. And when you're the Browns and you give somebody all those plays, fumbles, turnovers, all that in the first half, and then you're grossly overmatched for the quarterback position as well as the head coaching position, you'll never win a game in the NFL. You'll never beat the top tier teams. You'll never beat them. And that's what we're seeing. This week, grossly overmatched. Last week against the Seattle Seahawks, grossly overmatched. The week against the Rams, grossly overmatched. You got overmatched coaching-wise against the Tennessee Titans. And then they benched their quarterback in Marcus Mariota and decided he was garbage too. But guess what? You were overmatched in the coaching perspective. The Browns need to understand something. And that's fans. Understand the psychological aspects of what I'm breaking down in this film. Don't let cognitive dissonance get you. Don't let cognitive dissonance get you to a point where you're saying, well, I got to double down and triple down on things. Gbush, well, we already invested in this person. Listen, let me tell you something like this. Coaching and football is just like this in relationships. I tell everybody like I tell everybody out there like there. It's like getting married. Marriages are not hard. People say, marriages are going to be hard. No, it ain't. You just married to the wrong person. That's all it is. You ain't finding the right person. It's going to be hard out there. No, you just with the wrong person that's trying to sell you a wrong nightmare. It ain't supposed to be hard. When you with the right person, when you lined up, and y'all see eye to eye, and when you're lined up with the right perspective and y'all are working together on one accord and you got the right vision, which financially, emotionally, you like the same stuff, you see eye to eye, you work hard, she work hard, you guys both like to work out, you like the same movies, then guess what? It ain't hard. It ain't hard. It ain't. It just ain't hard. But when you with somebody else that is opposing you on every single front, it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare. Yes, it's going to be a nightmare. So when you got a relationship that ain't working, I suggest you keep it moving till you find the right one. Or you're going to waste time. And you're going to waste the best years of your life. And you're going to waste all your income, you're going to waste everything until you get it right. And so for you, the Cleveland Browns fans, keep it moving. If Freddie wasn't the right one, I'm not wasting my quarterback's prime years looking, I invested this money. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. I'll get rid of a coach every doggone year if I need to. And a general manager. Because I'm looking around the league, and I think them doggone Bills is looking good. Ain't no reason Kyler Murray look better than Baker Mayfield right now. Look your stats up. Statistically, your number one pick is statistically the worst quarterback in the league. You might want to chew on that. Chew on that. And this is after a bye week. They look worse than they looked last year with an upgrade in talent. Chew on that. Number one draft pick at defensive end. Number one draft pick at cornerback. Number one draft pick at quarterback. You got the number one running back in the league. Chew on that. And they look worse. But Bush, I want to keep the cook. You might want to keep reevaluating. Because marriage is a funny thing. I'm willing to keep rolling the dice. I don't know about y'all.
You aren't expected to know everything after just learning the basics. In fact, you're encouraged to keep learning, to keep questioning, and to consider how your own thinking can be flawed or misguided. Coming to terms with the things we don't understand is the first step towards clearing up misunderstandings and learning new things. As Socrates said, true wisdom comes to each of us when we realize how little we understand about life, ourselves, and the world around us.
You've been locked in with Gbush in the Barbershop. Feel free to take a look at some of our other videos linked here, and also subscribe to our channel so you never miss any of our updated content coming out regularly. Thanks again for listening.